Trend number 1, and this is exploding everywhere, especially in techno and house scene. And it is using R&B, hip-hop, trap vocals in techno tracks. This has been done more like a garage tracks like back in 90s, but this is something quite new for the techno. We had like a phrasal vocals, but we never really implemented really hard into the hip-hop side of the things, and it works phenomenal. It's bringing two big worlds like techno house world to the like hip-hop world, two very big community together, and I like that because of that as well. So a couple of example tracks.
Pretty friends and they all like me. That's why you always
all these birds, my guys. Know that we fly, know that they ride or die. I keep jump to the north side, jump to the south, step to the rhythm down on the dance floor. Do you like that now? Do you want more?
Very cool, you get the idea. How do you do this? Obviously get a person who can rap, right? I don't have it at the moment, but I have a solution for that. Synthesizing the vocals overall. If you are new to this world, let me introduce you to this one. This is the A Studio. Idea is super simple. It looks like a DAW, right? What you do is like create a single track and then you just double click. So it opens like a MIDI window for you, and then you can basically write your melody and then type your lyrics, and that will create the vocals for you. It's a really super straightforward idea. Let's do something like, I'm making something super simple just to illustrate how it works, and then we will do something super cool. But first let's do this. Sing a rap song, right? This is our vocal, but still nothing is happening. So what we need to do afterwards, pick a vocalist that can sing over this one. So they have a couple of things here. Let's go for David and then manipulate. What happens that AI synthesizes pitches and all the harmonies.
I want to sing rap.
The main problem with synthesizing vocals is those pitch curves. In the real world, we will deviate the pitch a little bit, makes that human. And the AI part of this thing is really dealing with those things when you write things. Here, you can see this small line is actually the pitch line. You see that's not a straight line. It's adjusting to these note changes and trying to make it more human, right?
I want to sing a rap song.
Sing a rap song. So it should be here. The only thing could be annoying, like every time
A rap song.
you change something in the pitch or in the notes, it has to resynthesize, and it takes a little bit until it resynthesizes again.
I want to sing a rap song.
Wow, very cool, isn't it? You can do amazing vocals by doing everything yourself. For the rap songs, it's actually kind of easier until you don't need to have a lot of pitch changes. You can just draw a single note and write everything. But there is one other trick that I really enjoy, and this is the clutch part of A Studio. You go to any sample library you want, loop, cloud, splice, your own samples, and what you do, find the rap sample that you like. Let's say I'm gonna go hip hop. It works oftentimes better if you go for the dries and then go for R&B. Now you can pick anything that you like.
Hang with a true boy, but I don't gang bang. I didn't know.
now fluent to
Who got the funk?
There are tons of different raps here. The main idea is like you can take that sample and use the pitch and lyrics information to create a new vocal out of it without trying to write down all the pitch. First we have this one.
Running like Usain Bolt, swimming if I can't float. With it, take the paper, rip it, clean slate. Here we go,
It's
dropping.
super classic. And what you do, this is the clutch part. If you drop it here, the program asks you to, if you want to convert it, both lyrics and the pitch information to a new AI version of it. Convert, and it just is AI stuff. And here we go. What happened now, we have all this information here. Lyrics are not always perfect, so sometimes you gotta change, but in the end you want to create your own lyrics anyways. So you are probably more interested in like having this pitch information all around, then you can actually simplify if you like to, or change it if you like to, repitch it and everything. So you have a lot of freedom once you have it, right? Let's see what happens here now.
Running like Usain Bolt, swimming if I can't flow. With it, take the paper, rip it, clean slate. Here we go.
Really cool, isn't it? This is really kind of magic. It's a simple producer trick that you should have in your toolbox. Okay, I found this one super cool. Listen.
Generations caught up. Look how things will switch. People there quick. Now they want to move at the bits.
Now, the same idea. Drop it, and now we have this.
People that kick. I don't want to move at a bit. Ball want to gloat and bitch. No.
Then you can create the back vocals like I mentioned. Pick another artist. Here we have Bianca.
Look how things will switch. People that kick. I don't want to move at a bit.
And then another one as well. So once you have this, you can actually freely now go in. You see, we have all this beautiful pitch information all over the place. And then we have all the lyrics. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't make sense at all. So you can change, but let's take this as it is. And I have a whole video about actually very detailed flowchart on how to properly process vocals. I'm going to put it here, but also illustrate here. So we have this one.
Look how things will switch. People that kick. I don't want to move at a bit.
So it levels all over the place. It's not that aggressive enough. First, let's remove the sibilances. I'm going to use Pro DS I love it. It's simple and straightforward.
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it.
Especially with the AI-produced vocals, sometimes sibilants get out of the hand. So first sibilant, and now we can add a bit air. This is a free plugin, Fresh Air. It just adds a bit distortion plus EQ boost, really.
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it.
But for me, it's not enough. I'm gonna overdrive. I really want this one in your face, how it is in most of the techno tracks.
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit.
It's good. And then I'm gonna do one more de-essing because all this distortion and air can introduce additional siblings, but this one will be a bit lighter on the
Look
side.
how things will switch. People that kick.
And then comes the compression and limiting part. The first thing, I'm gonna just use the LA2A, the simplest vocal compression. It will just smoothly follow the vocal curve.
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit.
Right? And then this is the main techno vocal trick. Ozone Classic Maximizer. It just brings a bit more high end and it's a bit crispier somehow. And
look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit.
I'm really leveling everything almost. So remember, techno is a very loud genre. So if vocals variate too much, you immediately lose your vocals. Ping the vocals like an instrument in a techno track. And then we will get a bit more air. This is just EQ, adding a bit like boost on the 8K area.
Look how things will switch. People that kick.
And then soothe, taming everything.
Look how things will switch. People that kick.
And final, of course, adding a reverb and tail so that it sits in the room. First we have echo, one chain dry. The second chain is wet and it's 1/4, so it's like repeating quite a bit. But we have ducking from the vocal itself. So when the vocal comes in, we are really ducking hard the sound of the echo.
People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit. All want to gloat and bitch.
And on top of that, a final reverb. I know it's a lot of processing, but it comes with the genre, unfortunately. Sometimes the vocals are processed, so you don't need to do these things. But we are taking really low raw take and processing all the way until it will fit in the track. Reverb, this is like a plate reverb from 550 Pro R2, super cool plugin.
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit.
And I actually oftentimes send one more reverb, just more like a big hole. In this case, I'm having this Valhalla reverb like this and sending a bit there as well.
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit.
Now the same idea for the back vocals as well. I'm having here one to the right, one to the left, but no reverbs, no delay, so it's very dry, these two.
Generations
But on the sides.
Look how things will switch. People that kick.
So all together,
Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit.
you can easily imagine how this will work in a techno track. And together,
I didn't want to move it a bit. All want to gloat and bitch. No. Generations caught up. Look how things will switch. People that kick, I didn't want to move it a bit. All want to gloat and bitch.
nobody would realize this was an AI if I weren't to tell them. And this trend is blowing. So try it out. I'm really enjoying this type of hip-hop vocals lately. It's so much fun to work with. If you feel like this video is helping you, you can also help me too. Consider like and subscribe. That will be really cool of you. Lead Melodic Techno plug sound. It is literally everywhere. To give you an idea how popular this is getting, this is what Sweden is sending to Eurovision this year. So this is a pop contest. And if you only hear this part of this track, nobody would believe this was a Eurovision track. This would be just another Melodic Techno track, right? Another example here. This, right? It is just a common sound, especially like ascending or descending Melodic Techno plug sound with like this very in-your-face sound is getting extremely popular. How do you get that sound? Let's do something maybe ascending, meaning that the plugs are going up in the scale. So we are in C, right? And the idea of this type of main room plug sounds is like you want to have up, down, or down, up movement in the sound. Let me put it into C, and then you go up. Immediately grabs you this type of melodies. Like constant increase, decrease, provide you power. Just works super nicely in the club as well. And then the one more advanced version of this will be like duplicate this. You can actually bake chord progression inside this type of progression. So can go down. Super duper cool. Now the sound of course is not the sound that we are looking for. To make this type of plugs work, you either can layer a couple of this one or you can actually make one single layer as well if you properly use a distortion. So main idea for this type of plugs are getting short envelopes. You can even have a bit hold because we will drive this into distortion. Like this. And then use a filter. Create another envelope for this one. You can go even more attack on this. And then use unison and bring down the stereo so it's not really too stereo. We can feel the middle power. Right? Immediately sounds much better. Again, I'm using just single oscillator now because the main idea is like use distortion efficiently, something aggressive. Like this. And use that envelope here. And I'm gonna use the EQ, make even shorter, like envelopes, and put it in the gain. Use like an envelope shaper, giving this attack on the high end of the sound. Very cool sound, isn't it? And people actually get scared of this type of sounds and layer tones of stuff. You don't need to, you just need to understand how to use distortion and a bit transient shaping on top. Let's get a white noise, see if it can help us a bit. Very cool sound. Now I'm gonna go use EQ until outside simply because I feel like we have better alternatives for that. It's very cool. And we're gonna go for the same idea of like ducking. We don't want to lose that dum 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 in your face sound, right? 100% met, but having a compress. I know there's a ducking function already baked in the EQ, but I want to show everybody so that if you don't have this one, so you can still get the same sound. How gorgeous is that sound, seriously. Okay, we have vintage reverb over here already. Let me see how big this is. 1.5 should work. Let's send there. More in your face. You can even make it snappy if you want to. If you want to make the sound even more authentic, there's one thing that you can do using the second oscillator to kind of FM modulate the first oscillator to get this weirdness out of it. You can use anything, resonance saw, something like that, and get from the B. Like that. Gets this gnarliness, plasticness. Get a little bit air in there. And one final thing you can do if you want to really feel the pumpiness of nice melodic techno, you can get compressor, sidechain to kick, bam. Ooh, so cool. If you need more this type of sounds, check my Nebulous preset bag. I have tons of plucky sounds there like this one. The spring sale is about to end, so it is your last chance to get up to 30% discount on my packs and courses. Take a look. Rhythmical vocal chops. There's like two versions of this one. Actually, there are more versions of this one, but I'm gonna show you the first simple and then the complex version. The first one is simple. You take a regular vocal and just slightly gate it at the tail to create this nice effect. I'm gonna use one of my good friend Laura Mia's track for this one as a reference. Super cool track, listen to it. Super cool effect. It's not exactly like this, but let's do something like that here.
Hold on.
We are in another key, we are a bit darker. Two duplicates, right and left, so that we can have a bit more openness. There are also different vocals, so that we have this
Hold on.
right? You can make it brighter, you can use something else. I just want to show you the easy version. Export this, and then we have this. Now there's two ways to do it. Again, for the processing, with shimmer. And then you can either use like a utility to use for the gates. You can just do this. Right? And such in the kick. Or if you want to make it a bit more groovier and make your lives a bit easier drawing basically. You can use like Devious Machines Infiltrator. And then you just automate where everything begins, right? Let's put a bit EQ, ozone. Right? And together we have something like this. simple effect, but oftentimes in the mainstreams, those gated vocals are a bit more complicated and a bit harmonic as well. Let's take a look at that one. So we start with our vocal synthesizer. For this type of vocals, synthesizing it makes complete sense. And the idea here is rather than using just simple melody or simple note, you make a harmony and gate afterwards. And that creates this kind of really melodic progression and harmonic progression in your track rather than boring simple gates, right? Let's just write A. So it's like, you can't write anything, but like sustained stuff is oftentimes good. As, os, and so on, right? And let me do maybe this. We are in F minor, so I have my scale, A sharp, and then maybe sustained. Let's hear it. Very cool. I don't like that part. Let's do something like this. Perfect, isn't it? Now, the idea is like build different layers with extra vocals so that we can build the harmonies. Promise everything will make super sense soon. Let's copy this, put it into second track. And here in this one, let's use the perfect fifth. So we have second layer in another note. 3, 4, 5. Now let's listen to this together. Right? And then one final layer. And for this one, we are going up instead of down. Right? Now let's pan this one right and left a little bit. This one a bit left, this one a bit to the right. The harmony really depends on the track that you are going for. I'm feeling more like this Instagram reel, like background somewhere, you know, some clouds, and we playing kind of a keyboard and so on. Let's do something like that. Export this first. All right, the usual suspects. I'm not going to process too much of this one, but I want to do first shimmer. Again, I want this air in it because shimmer hits everything one octave up and then reverbs afterwards. It gets super bright. Right? And again, I'm going to use infiltrator, but this time I'm using like this pattern. Last beat is sustained a little bit more. Cool, right? Let's limit a little bit more. You can also use clipper. It will work, but I just use this one. And finally, I'm going to go a bit more air with EQ. See, this creates more complex A's and gates. It just makes everything a bit more interesting overall if you are really going for this lead gated vocal type of sound. Let's put this into the, like that house dreamy beat.
This year we've had to lose our space. We've lost dancing.
Super cool. But if you want to learn more secret and pro tricks, I have more videos over here. Take a look.